In early January 2026, shockwaves rippled across the global stage as the United States launched a forceful military intervention in Venezuela. Missiles struck major urban centers, including the capital, Caracas. Within hours, reports emerged that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores had been seized by U.S. Special Forces. Bound for New York, Maduro stood accused in a federal court, defiantly pleading not guilty to charges of narco-terrorism and drug trafficking, insisting his arrest amounted to abduction. The U.S. administration, led by President Donald Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, claimed the operation was a targeted blow against pervasive criminal networks. They argued that the Maduro regime enabled drug trafficking and threatened regional security. Previously, Washington had strengthened sanctions, targeting Venezuela's oil exports and tankers, steps justified as economic pressure on what officials called a criminal government. With Maduro removed from power, interim leadership fell to Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, who was sworn in amid deep uncertainty. Tension gripped Venezuela. Crowds filled the streets in protest, and government crackdowns escalated, stoking fears of growing repression. Globally, the operation triggered instant controversy. Nations such as China and Russia vocally condemned the U.S. strike, demanding urgent UN Security Council review on the strike's legality. Venezuelan allies in Latin America described the event as an unlawful act of aggression, deepening diplomatic divides. Civilian suffering quickly became apparent. Venezuelan officials claimed dozens of deaths, both military and civilian. The loss extended beyond Venezuela's borders. Cuba confirmed that 32 of its personnel, deployed as part of joint security units, died in the conflict. This confrontation marks a watershed moment in Latin American history. Its roots reach into years-old battles over drugs, oil, and influence.
Conclusion. What this means for 10 to 5 o'clock. So what does this conflict mean? It marks one of the most significant U.S. military actions in Latin America in decades. It centers on drug trafficking, oil resources, and power struggles that go back years. The future of Venezuela is highly uncertain. With internal unrest and diplomatic tensions rising rapidly, this story is still unfolding, and it could have major global effects, especially on geopolitics and economics. Call to action 5 o'clock to 5:15 if you found this useful. Hit like and subscribe for updates. I'll post more as the situation develops.